All right, what's your name, boy? Coming at you today with another interview here with the bad guy, Vinnie Vain. How are you, Vinny?
Good, mate. How you been?
Yeah, good, good. Kind of miss wrestling a bit, but we'll get there in the
Yeah.
end.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to quickly start off with your match versus Charlie Haas. What was it like facing a former WWE Tag Team Champion?
It was very intense, very crazy match, big learning curve. Charlie was very well, put it this way, nothing was planned. That was all done on the fly. I remember trying to talk to him before the match, and I was like, "So, what do you want to do?" He's like, he didn't give me a lecture in a bad way. He goes, "This is what's wrong with all you new kids today." He goes, "I'm part of the last generation where we just went out there and we listened to the crowd and we called things on the fly. There's no plan." He goes, "All you need to know is the finishes and angle slam. And everything else that came from that match was literally a communication between he and I." Look, I'll be honest, I listened more than anything. He's obviously the pro. Like, I might have added one or two little things in, but it was more him feeding off what the crowd was saying. And he did ask me before, "What do you do well?" And I gave him a few things that I do well. And, he inserted them where relevant. And it was just a real test for me because at the time, I want to say 99% of the matches I did before that were all, pre-discussed and, pre-orchestrated. So, it was all very spot heavy. And this was a good learning experience to understand how to actually listen to the crowd, because we can all go out there and do not a rehearsed match, but a pre-booked match with key spots and whatnot. But sometimes that's not what the crowd wants. And if anything, I learned it wasn't my favorite match by any means. And that was just because, like, Charlie's still, like, he's on another level, man. Like, I think he's probably one of the most underrated performers of the time. He got to remember, he came from the class of Batista, Cena, Shelton, Brock. He was in that OVW class. So he's absolutely fantastic. So to go out there and work with the crowd and work with him and give them what they want, despite the match not being anything that I'm like, to be fair, I've never ever watched it back because I can't bring myself to watch it back. I had a lot of people tell me the match was amazing, one of your best performances. I disagree. I think you were there, to be
Yeah, I
completely
was.
fair.
Yeah, I sat like on the stage left. I was like front row, that part there.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just happy to get in there, and I use it only as a learning experience, a fantastic learning experience for me, to try something new, evaluate something new, and take my learnings and move it forward. So for me, a highlight of my career, I'm very, very grateful to Charlie. I realized he just got on Instagram, so it's been nice to reconnect with him again. Because outside of the ring, the guy's a gentleman and one of the most humble and nicest people I've come across in the business.
Now, let's talk about your early days in wrestling. So, how long have you been wrestling for, and what was your very first match?
Okay, so this is a difficult question because I started training in 2014, but it's very different to a lot of performers in the country. Some performers are training or were training multiple times a week. At the time, I was training once a week when I started, and I did that consecutively for the first 4 to 5 years, dare I say. Only in the last few years has the training sort of scaled back a little bit, just, with life, how things get. But it's something I'm looking to re-engage with and start training again on a fairly regular basis. But so it's hard because I don't want to say I've been in the business for like 5, 6, 7 years because, like, it's not my full-time gig. So I've been involved for quite a few years, but it's not something where I've been wrestling for like years. Yes, I've been in it for quite a few years, but it's an inconsistent thing. And I think a lot of people forget I only worked for AWE for the first 4 or 5 years I was wrestling. I'd never wrestled anywhere else because I didn't have the time or the capacity with my workload at the time. Only in the last few years did I make the conscious decision to get out there and explore new horizons. And then, like, don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful to AWE because they gave me a good start. But like, once I started to find my feet and explore other avenues and other territories, did my career really start to take off here. And I started to become, a bit more of a mainstay and a bit more of a name in the business.
So you wrestle for Kingdom? Do you have your eyes set on anything, like any wrestlers or maybe that elite championship that who has it? Morgan Rose. Do you have your eyes set on him or?
No, you got to remember, I've done that. I was the first elite champion. And at the time, to be completely fair, and this isn't a knock to Kingdom, but when I won that championship, I beat five, six including myself, I think five of the very best mid carders. And that's not an insult. Like, I appreciate where we are on the card and what we bring to the table. But Keegan, Backman, Tommy Jewel, DJ Sonic, Misfit, I won that match. I was the first elite champion. Like, I was the poster boy, the marquee child for that. I still am a mainstay in Kingdom. And when Kingdom got off the ground, me and Slade Mercer were headlining those main shows. You know, we were the main feature. That was the main storyline. Was I successful chasing the Kingdom title, the main strap? No. The reasons why I'm not going to discuss here, that's between me and management, which is no issues at all. It's totally fair. That's just the backstage stuff of the business that I'm not going to discuss with the fans, to be completely honest. But is it in my sights? Always. The top prize is always in my sights. You know, I don't care about the championships per se. I care about the opponents because, you know, at the end of the day, like, let's be real, Joel, the title is a prop. Yes, it is a recognition of a wrestler's caliber and his workload and whatnot, but I will only get better by wrestling good wrestlers who are better than me. That's the only way I can learn. That's not to say I don't want to wrestle people who are in a position like lower than me that are less experienced and whatnot. But for me now to get better, I need to wrestle the better talent. And whoever is the better talent is who I want to wrestle. It's not necessarily for titles. It's for the better talent. Like, I've won championships. I've held titles at AWE. I've held titles at Kingdom. You know, so it's not like, oh, I'm chasing that championship. Like, you know, titles seem to find me one way or another, which is great. I'm glad promoters have the faith in me and see my connection with my character and what the audience see. But I'm more about wrestling the upper echelon of this country and getting better.
So who are some of the wrestlers that you would like to face in Kingdom?
Look, in Kingdom, see, that's the thing. The beautiful thing with Kingdom is they got very long arms and they bring a lot of good people in. See, if you ask me, the best guy in Kingdom is Slade Mercer. I've wrestled him. You know, Grant Lindstrom, he's the current champion. I wrestled him at the Great Kingdom Rumble. Don't get me wrong, it was an opener, but still a great match. So there is probably some unfinished business there between me and Grant that we need to finalize. But also, I know Kingdom were going to bring in Carlo Cannon. I've wrestled Carlo Cannon before. I actually defeated him to become the first Mario Milano Contenders Cup winner a few years ago. And that at the time was a very big match for me because I still am green in some regards, but I was very green. And that was one of my very good matches. Carlo's an amazing worker, so I'd love to work Carlo again if the opportunity arises because I think I'm a lot better now. It's not to say I think the match we had was fine, but I think I could do a lot more and be a lot more comfortable now.
What does the future hold for the legendary Vinnie Vain?
The legendary Vinnie Vain. That's a very cool. I'm very appreciative for your words. The future, to be honest with you, I can't say right now because I've got a lot of irons in the heat, and I'm working on a few different things that I don't want to digress too much. But it's all good things. It's all positive things. Like, I'm getting older. I'm early 30s at the moment. And the business today in Australia, it's inundated with these young, hungry kids who are happy being starving artists, which is totally fine. But like, they want to commit, they can commit their lives if they've made that active decision to focus on wrestling full time and train full time. And that's great. Not for me. So they deserve the better spots and the better futures to come because they're making that conscious decision to invest as much as they are in this. So for me, I just want to keep wrestling as much as I can while I can, and I want to keep putting on decent matches. The moment I think I can't deliver anymore is probably the day I'll call it quits. And I don't know, like, your fan base, Joel, I don't know who's going to see this. I don't know who's going to watch it, but we all have a very short time on this planet and an even shorter time in this business. So I just want to leave the fans that paid to watch me, that supported me, with great memories. And I want them to look back. Like, I've said this publicly before. I don't go around and say I'm the best wrestler because like I'm not like, and that's totally cool. But I hold my own very well for where I work on a card. I am I have a good character. I have a decent promo. I'm decent in ring. I'm just like not standard, but I'm not, your Damian Slaters of Australia, who I think is probably the best wrestler in Australia, to be fair, very underrated. But like I just want to leave the fans with good memories and know that I put on a good show and I was a good talent. And that's it. To my detractors, screw you guys. Like I love the fact that I have a lot of detractors that get mad at me because, he doesn't take it seriously and he's getting the better matches and, the better opponents and the championships. Good luck, man. Ask yourself what you're not doing that I am, because I'm in this position for obviously a reason. So to my detractors, fuck you. To my fans, thank you so much for everything. I really appreciate all the support.
Where can people buy your t-shirts? Because I haven't got one yet, but I plan to very, very soon. I just had a few,
It's okay.
I keep buying belts. I just got like a brand new one. It's a Newcastle Knights belt that's been the worst since like March. So that's
Yeah,
like,
I like you, Joel, but that's the one thing I dislike about you, man. Can you go for a better football team like the South
no
Sydney
chance.
Rabbitohs?
No chance.
No.
No chance.
What do you do? What do you do? We just have to agree to disagree. But no, I can see my photo back there. Is that my photo? That's
Right
my
there. Right there.
photo.
It's
That's
like
awesome.
under Brooksy and near Tyler Gunn and Austin Aries.
Hey, I'm in good company, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, but no, to answer your question, you can get my t-shirts at Wrestler Merch. I think it's Wrestler Merch.
Yes.
Yep. I should know that. No, they do a really good job. They've got I've got quite a few styles on there and quite a few different colorways, and they're really good. They're a good local Australian company. So I know we're keeping business in the country, which is fantastic. So if you want to get my merch, please by all means head there.
The link will be down below. And where can people find you on social media?
Social media, everything's at Vinnie_Vain. And then from there, if you go to my Instagram primarily, that's probably the best one, Vinnie_Vain. And you can then link off to my t-shirts, my website, my other social media accounts, my podcast. You can jump in on that too. There's plenty of things. But Joel, you know what? You do a lot of these interviews. I want to ask you some questions first.
All right. Bring it.
All right, let's switch it up a bit. Let me be the interviewee.
Okay, here we go.
So when did you get into pro wrestling?
Oh, geez, Louise. Like Australian wrestling or like
Yeah. Australian wrestling.
2014, my first show was AWF at the Blacktown PCYC, featuring the Brian Kendrick on day 2. Main event was TNT, Massive Q, Dean Draven, and Iron Ben Coles, who did the whole fish finger ad video. And then from there, I decided going to I started seeing these other shows like IWA, PWA. Nui Pro. I attended the AWE show featuring Chava Guerrero, and I'm just like, there's more companies out there. Like, god damn, this is good.
Do you want to know that show, that Chava Guerrero show? Like, I was actually on the door that night. That was like my first taste to indie wrestling in Australia, because that's when I started to reach out about it, and I found Sammy at AWE, and I'd just started training 2 weeks before, and he's like, "Yep, we're doing a show. Come down, I'll put you to work." And he had me do the door, and I actually was the guy that had to shadow Chavo and take the money for his autographs and that at the end. So it's kind of funny, kind of ironic, eh?
Any more questions?
Yeah, heaps.
Bring it on.
What's your what do you think the future, I know there's a lot of companies in Australia now, and where do you see who's doing good, who's doing bad, what can be improved from a fan's perspective?
The company that's doing really good, I have to say too, PWA and MCW, the two top companies. Bad companies, hard to say, but there's one out there. But
yeah, sure.
I've got nothing. My brain's gone blank.
So. No, that's cool. Who do you think's a good wrestler to keep an eye on in the next couple of years?
Probably Tyler Gunn, or a guy in Nui Pro called Scott Green, who comes out and just it's like he's smoking weed and stuff, but he's with Parker Thomas. So
I love Parker. Parker,
Parker's
I think
he is jacked. He's ripped. Like,
it's not just that, man. I think he's a very underrated commodity in Australian wrestling. Like I think he's so talented, and I think he should be headlining. I think he should be doing, he should be booked so much higher than what he is. Like, I'm actually a very big fan of his work personally. Like, I think he looks fantastic. Like, for a guy his age, like, he's not an old guy by any means, but he looks great. He's in great shape. He moves well. I like his gimmick. I think the guy is money, man, if you ask me.
and the other wrestler after Zayna, because she's really good. She can go with
She's a
anyone.
darling.
She can go with anyone. Put her against Silvio Milano or Tyler Gunn or Vinnie Vain. Put her against anyone, say like a Shazza, she'll go out there, kick ass, and do it good.
Look, I'm a fan of her personally. We get along very well outside of the ring. She's a very nice girl. She's a very honest girl, which I kind of appreciate about her, because I'll be honest with you, a lot of people in wrestling are some of the fakest people you ever cross in your life. I'm not a fan of, like, I keep to myself majority of the time when it comes to the work. Like, nothing personal. It's just it's like work. People get mad about this all the time, but in a proper workplace, you're not friends with everybody. You know what I mean? Like, you walk in, you say hello, how are you, good morning, and then you go about your business. And that's how it is in wrestling too. I'm not friends with everybody. I've got, probably 5-6 people that I'm relatively close with that I'd consider a friend. The rest are all coworkers, man. And Zena's actually, she's a really good kid outside of the ring. In ring, fantastic, man. Like, I think she's a great performer. I think very, again, underrated, underutilized. For whatever reason, it's not my place to say. I'm not going to pass comment. But I wish her good things.
Any more questions?
Yeah. Where are we going to see you next? What show are you looking forward to seeing when everything?
Well, tonight was supposed to be night 1 of Coliseum for PWA.
Right. Okay.
That was this weekend.
Obviously cancelled.
I would have had the Sharks Knights game at Cogra on Sunday, but obviously COVID's hit. So whatever show pops up first, of like, I'm ready to go, ready to rock and roll.
Well, I think I'm definitely keen to see you at FWA, and I know like, we had some good plans that I think it was Resolution 4 got canned, which before the pandemic, like the the COVID lockdown thing. So that was a great show. I know 5 Star had organized a very elaborate card, and then the election, man, at Kingdom, to settle that once and for all.
I was keen for that show too. It was like, because like the Knights played on the Saturday, and Dad and I were going to stay up there and then go to the show the next day. So it would have worked well. Footy, then wrestling, then the drive home.
Yeah, fair enough. So where are you based exactly? You don't have to give away your
Blacktown area, near Seven Hills.
Oh, see, I thought you were from Newcastle area originally.
I wish. One day.
Yeah, beautiful part of the world. Yeah, man, absolutely. Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. It's a shame, because like, that's been quite a few months in the making, that whole storyline between Keegan and Fergus, and we wanted to just have that one final blowout match and see where the roads took us after that.
Any more questions? We done? We good?
No, we're good. Yep.
We're good.
I think I've grilled you enough.
Yeah, pretty much did. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get on here. Thank you, Vinny. I do appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you soon at a show where you kick some serious butt.
Absolutely, my friend. Thank you as always, and keep well.
You too. Thanks, Vinny.